Good morning, you guys. It is Tuesday morning, 9 a.m.-ish. It is time to rise and thrive. I'm Tricia Turner, and I am here by myself today. Here's what's happened. So I am typically the one that does the scheduling for my podcast, which, by the way, we've been running now. This is our 4th year. Most people, and consistently, I will tell you, the first one that I launched was right before COVID, and it was called Anything But Average. And the goal was, it came to me, I'm like, I always want to bring positivity to the world in the mornings. I think it's critical that you start your mornings feeding your mind, body, and soul with positive messages. So that was Anything But Average. And actually, during the first month of COVID, God put it on my heart, actually, that I needed to do it every single morning. I think it was the month of April. And so I did it every single morning, and I brought on a different guest because that's what I do. I love to hear people's stories. And so I start the podcast always bringing on a guest. And Anything But Average was designed, of course, because, the world out there will tell you that you're nothing and that you're mediocre. And a lot of people live an average, mediocre life, whatever that may look like. And God doesn't want any of us to believe that. We're anything but average, all of us. And so that was the concept of the podcast that birthed in my mind. Then I went on for about a year and a half, probably in that format. And then I got asked to be part of another podcast network. And they were like, we want to rename your podcast, though, because you've already had that one for over a year. Therefore, to be on this network, you've got to rename. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So change the name to Walk Away Wealthy, wealthy in knowledge, wisdom. Same concept. I'm going to bring you people every week. It's a weekly podcast. I'm going to bring you people every week that are going to motivate you, inspire you, help you do something more, if you so choose, with your life, your personal life, business, whatever that may be, right? Did Walk Away Wealthy for a bit. And then in 2023, I don't know, I've lost track of time now, honestly. I felt like there was too much on my plate and I needed to take a break because it's a commitment. This is at every Tuesday, 9 a.m.-ish Central Time, and it's live. Sometimes they're pre-recorded just because of our scheduling, but for the most part, they're live. And therefore, I have the guest on every Tuesday. It's on me to get them the right links. It's on me to get the formatting all together. It's on me to interview. It's me asking the questions, right? And they're unedited. I will promise you that, because again, they're live. And they never know what I'm going to ask them. I never know what I'm going to ask them. I just usually know a little bit about them. Some of them are my friends. A lot of them actually are my friends. So I know a little bit about them, or sometimes a lot. But I believe that they can help you guys, the viewers out there, learn how to grow your business or change your life. And so I took a little bit of a break, and then God put it back on my heart. No, I don't care, your timing. You need to do this because it's helping people in the world. And you like it. You're passionate about it. So I rebirthed our podcast after taking, 4 months off, or 5, maybe even. And it is Rise and Thrive, and rising up, not wake up. It's rise up. And it's based on the 4 principles that are most important in my life. Of course, faith, family, fitness, and finances, in that order pretty much as well. And so every week at 9 a.m.-ish Central Time, you'll hear somebody that I'll be bringing on, and I'll be interviewing them, and they'll share their story. Well, I screwed up, and the guest that was supposed to be on today is Claudia Zacher, and she is amazing woman, real estate agent, broker, killing it in the real estate world. I just recently met her a few months ago. Love her. And her and her husband, Max, they're in San Diego, California. You're going to hear her. I'm not going to give you too much information because you're going to hear her story next Tuesday. But I had sent her the calendar invite, and my brain thought it was for today, and it wasn't. And so I didn't realize that until late last night. It's like, oh crap, that's okay. So tune in next week to hear from Claudia. She's going to talk about how they've built this massive empire real estate business, and they have mortgage, they have everything under the sun. They have a 17,000 square foot real estate hub in San Diego, and they're doing great and wonderful things. The week after that, we're going to hear from Eddie Garcia, the founder of Realty of America. And what in the world was he thinking when he had this idea? And what is the vision of Realty of America? And how has he done what he's done and amassed this massive organization in 19 years? And so you guys are going to stay tuned to that. to stay tuned for that. So that's in 2 weeks. Today, so then when I was working out this morning, I was like, what do I want to share with you guys today based on these 4 principles? I want to share with you a couple of uplifting things and then a couple of irritating things. Number one, listening to the housing report this morning, if you haven't been paying attention to it. So anyhow, I'm in Houston, Texas, for you guys that don't know. I've been doing real estate for a little over 20 years. I am a broker. I am obsessed with the real estate market. I run a large team. We are with Realty of America. And I believe that I can change the world one person at a time, one day at a time. And I'm out there every single day. And I have a cold. I'm out there every single day, making sure that agents are doing the right thing, doing my best to make sure that agents are doing the right thing, because unfortunately, like 95% of the agents are unskilled and untrained. So I want to change that. I tell you this because we, in my company, we are a heavy listing team. 2023 and 2024, we're not that kind to listings. Homes have been sitting on the market. Homes have been failing to sell despite the marketing, despite the price reductions, despite the staging, despite everything. Open houses like out the butt every freaking weekend, Saturday, Sunday, all day long. It didn't matter. Like relentless market. Like I said, doing this over 20 years. I've never in a freaking market like this. Now the housing report as of today, things are shifting, right? We've already seen things are shifting. We typically carry anywhere from 25 to 38 active listings at a time. In a market where they're sitting longer, and we do commercial too, in a market where they're sitting longer, we're averaging about 33 active listings at all times, which is a lot. It's a lot for me to maintain. It's not just, they're not all mine. There's some of our agents, but a lot of them are mine. When I tell you that we are a heavy listing team, we are. And so when you're managing that many assets and you're watching, you have a big time pulse on the market. Like I know what the market's doing. I know if we're getting showings. I know if we're getting traffic in our open houses. I know if we're getting offers. I know if we're getting inquiries. I know about all of this. We paid it for our listings to be advertised. I'm watching all of the data, right? And it's unheard of when you've been doing this as long as I have to throw up a listing, an amazing listing, priced right, looks freaking amazing, no showings, none. It can go weeks without a showing. It defies all odds, right? Okay, so that's what 23 and 24 were like. 24 even more so, because it was so relentless. It's like, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? Well, I'm here to report to you today. Again, right now, I think we have 38 active listings. If I remember, 36 or 38. Yesterday, I was negotiating, and I am still negotiating 3 offers on our listings that came in. Some of these listings, one of them has been on the market forever. We have another listing that's been on the market with us for several months. It was previously listed with another agent for about 6 months. We're getting an offer on their property, likely today. Here's what I can tell you just from negotiating from yesterday. They started coming in Sunday until this morning. None of them are coming in at list price, even though we've done price reductions, even though we are priced at market value. Not one is coming in at list price, and not even in our new listings. Okay, that's number one. Number two, they're coming in, some of them drastically under what the property is listed for. Okay, which is offensive to the sellers. I get it. So sellers are hot. They're responding back to me like, what the F, like we're not even going to respond. Tell them no, we reject it. And I'm like, hold on a second. For one, thank the Lord we have an offer. Like, hallelujah, we have an offer. Like, to even see that, do you understand what I'm going through when there's not even showings happening? So that's number one. So if you're a seller and you're listening to this, please take note. Okay, for us to get an offer, you gotta, when you put your home on the market, this is a business decision now. It's an asset that you need to sell, want to, whatever. And then the seller's always like, well, I don't need to sell. I'm just going to sit on this until the market improves. Hey, guess what? Maybe the market's not going to improve. So best time to sell is now. So sellers, when we're looking at offers, I tell all of our agents when I'm training them, get your buyers to make offers. Like, it is a buyer's market out there, you guys. Pay attention to what I just said. It is a buyer's market out there. Don't let anyone tell you differently. The buyers are owning the market right now. If you're a seller You need to understand that you're going to get a low offer on your property. It's the agent's job, your agent's job then to negotiate back and forth and to get that buyer to where you're comfortable, where you're willing to sell. Because a home, but though you think it's worth $800,000, the buyers don't believe it's worth $800,000. The numbers don't support that. It's probably worth $700,000. So you've got to, number one, have a reality check as a seller, and as a listing agent, you too have to have a reality check. The numbers are not the same. The numbers aren't what they were last year. The numbers aren't what they were 6 months ago. The numbers aren't what they were 3 months ago. They're changing every single month. And as we continue to stack inventory, you're going to see that change more. As of right now, and here's something that you guys need to all write down, okay? For our market to be in a good balanced market where everybody's making money, homes are selling, sellers are happy, agents are happy, it's flowing, right? We need about 90,000 listings, new listings on the market each week. We're not getting that. We're averaging, it's up to about 62,000 now. It's been at 50 to 52,000. So the report this morning that I listened to this morning was that we're on the way to that 90,000 breaker where we know we're going to have a good market. But guess what? What does that mean when we get to 90,000? That's a lot of supply, right? We already have homes sitting on the market. What does that mean if you're a home buyer and instead of having one home that you like, that you're willing to pay whatever it takes to get, you now can go look at 10 homes and you like 5 of them. And so now you're like, I'm going to make an offer on this one. And if the sellers don't like it, there's this one I like, and there's this one, and there's this one. Does that make sense? Okay. So listing agents, take note. It's a buyer's market. Educate your sellers. They're not getting a list price offer. If you get a list price offer on your property, you need to thank God and take that sucker and run, because they're rare, okay? Yes, there are still some homes getting them, and I'm in the Houston market, but they're rare, okay? They have to look amazing, have a pool, be priced right, the whole nine. Most people are not. So that's number one. Here's what I want to tell you also on this note. One of our contracts that I'm negotiating right now, keep in mind with the NAR settlement, just to recap that NAR settlement, the DOJ, Department of Justice, wants listings, sellers to pay the listing agent their fee, whatever that may be, 2, 3, 4, 10%, whatever it is. They want the buyers to pay their agent's fee, whatever that may be, 1, 2, 20%, whatever that fee is, right? That's what they want. Okay. What are we seeing since the settlement? And again, I'm a listing heavy broker. This is what I do. I study the market. I study listings. I study contracts constantly. Okay. So what are we seeing? Repeatedly, offers come in, and we get these agents that call and text, is your seller paying a buyer agent commission? And we say the same thing, put it in your offer. It's an ask, right? The sellers pay our fee. We'll ask them to pay for your fee, and we'll see, right? What has happened over and over and over again is that offers get submitted. Buyer's agent asks for a 3% fee to get paid for. We on the listing side present it to the sellers. Sellers may like some of the terms, maybe not, but they're like, I like all of these things in the contract, except for the numbers just don't make sense to me. I don't want to pay a 3% buyer agent fee. I'll offer 2%, right? We on the listing side go back, tell the buyer's agent what the counter offer is. This is what the terms are. Seller likes all of this stuff. We can't afford to pay you 3%. They are going to offer you 2%. You're going to need to get that other 1% if that's what you want from your buyer, right? That's what the DOJ wants. Repeatedly, all of a sudden, offers get withdrawn. Well, I'll get a notice from the buyer's agent. My clients withdrew their offer. I'm like, what? What do you mean they withdrew their offer? Why would they withdraw their offer? The seller accepted their terms except for your fee. Why would a buyer that loves a house say, oh, because you're not making a full 3% buyer agent, you're only getting $14,000. I don't want that house actually. Right? I'm thinking about it. It's like, I don't think that's what's going on, y'all. I was having this conversation with another broker friend of mine and even some clients of mine on Sunday. And I said, ethically, me on the listing side, I can't talk to the buyers because they're not my clients. I can only talk to their agent. Therefore, I don't really know if the original counter offer in the terms that we gave are actually being presented to the buyers. Because why would they withdraw their offer? Everything that they wanted got accepted, right? I'm telling you this because I'm in the middle of dealing with another one. So my poor sellers in the last several months have lost countless, and not just one seller, like multiple sellers have lost opportunities, I believe, because of the buyer's agents being greedy. Okay. I have another contract that we were negotiating last night. So we've been negotiating since Sunday. We were still negotiating last night. I don't have a response yet today, so I can't give you the answer. And to wrap it all up on this note, the property say is worth $700,000. Okay. Back and forth buyers and sellers on price, because buyers always want to pay the least amount of money. Sellers always want the most amount of money, right? My sellers are being realistic. Buyers submit their counteroffer. We've went back and forth, I think 4 times now. Sellers and I talk, and the sellers are like, look, this is what we'll pay. We'll give them everything that they ask, which is $700,000. But we can't do this 3% buyer agent fee. We can't. The numbers don't make sense because their home was originally priced much more. It's been on the market for a bit. We'll give 2%. But Tricia, you got to make this work, right? So I reach out to the buyer's agent last night and I say, sellers said yes to everything that your buyers want. They get the sales price that they want. They're getting the home warranty, everything, everything. The only thing my poor sellers can't do financially is pay you the 3%. And I said, I implore you to do the right thing and take the 2% buyer agent commission that the sellers are offering. It's $14,000. Is that not enough for you? And I said this, I left him because they didn't take my call. So I left a voicemail and I said, you're supposed to put your client's needs above your own. The sellers accept the buyer's terms for the home. The only thing the sellers can't do is pay your buyer agent commission of 3%. I am hopeful that you'll do the right thing because your buyers are getting an incredible deal. They are getting a home that they're going to walk into with equity, and that's only going to appreciate in value. It's in an amazing neighborhood. I'm hopeful that you'll do the right thing. He didn't even respond, so I'll be following up with him today. You guys, if you are listening to this or watching this and you're a real estate agent, can you please, and we're not supposed to wish ill will on others, and I don't wish ill will on others. This is a podcast about faith, right? So I pray, it's written in my little prayer journal, I pray that people do the right thing and make the right decisions. But if you're representing a buyer out there and the sellers are like, we can't give you a 3%, pay your 3% buyer agent fee, but we want to sell the house to these buyers and we're willing to give the buyers all of their terms that they offered. I don't know, you guys weigh in on this. What would you do? For our company, what we do, the Tricia Turner Group, we're with Realty of America. I can't speak as a whole for our whole company, Realty of America. I can speak for our company within the company, Tricia Turner Group. We do the right thing always, 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 always. We put the client's needs above our own, and we work for what we can get. Do we want to get paid our full 3%? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, if we found a home that the buyers love and the buyers made an offer based on our recommendations and the sellers accepted the offer, why are we bickering over a buyer agent commission? My hope, and I believe these things happen, is that those agents that are out there doing these unethical things, and because what I think is happening, I can't prove it. Somehow we're going to have to change this. So if there's anyone in the higher ups listening to this, please come up with ways we can make our industry better. What I believe is happening is that the buyer's agents are going back to the buyers and lying and saying, hey, they didn't accept your offer. They came back with this. Or, hey, they changed this. This is what I think is happening. So if you're a buyer listening to this, ask your agent, if you're making negotiations back and forth, ask your agent for the counter offer in writing. Ask to see what they said. Because if you're coming up, if you're a buyer out there and your agent's like blowing deals for you, where you're like, man, we're making offers on these houses, but we're not getting them, ask your agent to see the counter offer. Because I believe it's the agents that are blowing the deals because they're greedy and selfish. So I tell you that. So that's the negative part of this podcast today, that because I normally don't like to go negative, but I wanted to be real. I tell you that to, number one, I'm happy that we're negotiating 3 contracts, and I'm happy that there's another one coming in today, because a lot of my poor sellers are in situations and they need to sell, right? Just like everybody. The world is like that right now. So there's your market update in a minute, but it was much longer than a minute. Another thing I want to talk to you guys about, I've been in like constant meetings with people where, again, we're with Realty of America, so we're growing super fast. People are curious, like, what's the momentum? What's the difference? What are you seeing? I had a conversation with a broker last week. I've actually been in conversations with 3 different brokers from traditional models, I'll call them. So what's a traditional model? So Realty of America, EXP, Epic, LPT, Real, they're the cloud-based model. What does that mean? Well, it's a virtual brokerage nationwide, some global, and the goal is to be able to do business virtually, Zooms, all that stuff, with everybody, to the masses, right? Reaching groups. Instead of one-to-one, it's one-to-many, right? And that's the way of the future. By the way, that's real estate in the future. And it's been around. EXP was a pioneer doing it. And they started at 15 years ago. Real's been around for 10 years. Epic's out there. I'm not going to talk about that. LPT's out there. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't want to get in trouble. But Realty of America, where we are now, is a game changer, right? And I can go into that. That's a whole nother podcast. I was talking to this traditional broker last week, and he was going over like the difference. He didn't understand the cloud-based world. Let me explain the cloud-based world to you. I told him, I said, what is your split in your company? Because most companies have a split. The broker takes a piece and then the agents get something. And he said, ours is 80-20. I go, okay, 80-20, 80 to the agent, 20 to you, the broker. And again, this is just a local mom and pop shop. He's got, 20 agents or so. He's been around for a long time, 20 years. But he's local. Like, he doesn't have multiple offices. He's got an office here in Houston. So his audience isn't global. His audience is whatever he's paying for, in essence, right? And I said, 80-20, what are they getting for the 20% that comes off of their transaction to you? What do they get? Just so I know. So he tells me some things. I won't share them because I don't want to give too much detail away about who this person is. And I said, okay, good, get it. And let me tell you something. I go, and compared to your 80-20 versus what I offer, well, I only have an 85-15 split. That's number one. And I offer this. And it's like a mile long stuff, right? CRM, tech. You can get stock in the company. You can build multiple streams of income. You can have your network around the world, not just right here in Houston, Texas. And he said, shaking his head, yes, like, yeah, that's quite a difference, right? And I go, okay, so if I'm an agent, broker, whatever, and I'm sitting with me or you, and I got an 85, I'm offering an 85-15 split, and I'm offering all of this stuff in an office, because it's not virtual. Like, most of us at Realty of America have offices. So, and I have an office that you can come and work at. I want you to come and work at, and I'm going to train you like a lunatic. Or they can go to this traditional model where some of them are 80-20, some are 60-40, some are 70-30, like big splits. But what are they getting? Like, nothing. And the answer, overwhelmingly, if you go to like Keller Williams, Gary Green, Cole Banker, Century 21, all these old school, Berkshire Hathaway that's being sold, all these old school models, the word is old, number one, okay? Worn out, going nowhere, has been, whatever you want to call it. Like I said to this guy, I go, Blockbuster, the last time I looked, there was one remaining Blockbuster. I don't even know if it's still around anymore. That's the traditional model. They're being phased out, because if it's a real estate agent, why are you going to give up 40% of your commission or 30% or 20% at all for maybe a marketing kit on how to do postcards and a directory on how to make cold call? I mean, really? Is that what you want? And in the traditional model, you're only as good as your next house that you sell, because you don't have any other means of income unless you've went out and invested money in buying rental properties and building a portfolio, or in the stock market. outside of that, in the traditional real estate brokerage model, your only source of income is you selling houses or you creating a team. That's it. Okay. Why would you go to any model if that's all your limits are? Okay. When you could go with us and have an 85-15 split and build wealth and create multiple streams of income, have stock in the company, be an owner in the company, and actually really make a difference and build wealth for your family. So I explained all that. And I say all that because there's a lot of old school models. 71% of real estate agents didn't sell a single home in 2024. Why is that? Well, it was because sellers were relentless and refusing to sell. Buyers were relentless and refusing to buy. But there's also real estate agents that are lazy and untrained. That's why. What can we do differently? Well, number one, we can train them better. Number two, we can give them more opportunities. And number three, they can get in a model where they're not subjected to only transactions. Because here, let me tell you this. In my world, where we normally do 250 plus transactions a year, when our market shifted, and again, we're a listing heavy team and listings weren't selling, our sales went in half. So instead of 250 homes, we're selling 150, which is like, holy crap, that's a huge blow to our income in our company. Number one, let me tell you something I'm super grateful for. Because I've been in the cloud-based world for over 6 years now, 6.5 years to be exact. I've been at EXP, I've been at Real, and we're at Realty of America now, where we will stay and build the greatest company in America. But because of my thankfulness, God showing me this opportunity, and two people that are friends of mine that brought the opportunity to me, because of that and the stock that I was able to amass that was awarded to me. Like, I didn't buy it all. A lot of it was given to me because of my production, because of my growth in the company. We as a company have been leaning heavily on my stock to not have to borrow money during these hard times, to not have to dip into certain things. Like, it's sustained us. So I am going to sing from the rooftops about the cloud-based model because it works. Because if we would have been in a traditional model, much like I had, because I had my own brokerage, we would have went out of business because sales were not what they needed to be, or we would have had to let go of staff, let go of everybody, not marketed anymore, not like just been nothing, right? This industry, this market has made a lot of people go out of business. And I'm just being 100% transparent with you guys. We're now on the, it was a very teachable year, I'll tell you that. But now I believe we're on the uptick. I think 2025 is going to be a better year for sure. I think it's going to be rocky for sure. But I think those of us that have made it through the crap of 23 and 24 are thankful to see activity, thankful to see people making offers, thankful to see sellers willing to sell. All of this is good things. And so I hope if you're listening to this and watching this, you're taking notes of what I'm saying, because again, I study this stuff like crazy, and I'm only looking out for everyone's best interest. Because at the end of the day, if this is your career and this is how you take care of your family, then you've got to be educated. You've got to be highly trained. You got to master your craft. And I will end two things. I put in the comments that we're going to learn how to grow your business using a 25-10-4 formula. I'll tell you about that. I teach it, and it's working with sellers. You can use it in all things, because at the end of the day, you grow your business, whether you're growing your company count, agent count, or looking for buyers, sellers, whatever that may be. You have to be prospecting. You have to be making calls. You have to be having conversations. That's what that is. 25-10-4. It's a monthly formula done in a 30-day cycle, and it's 25 conversations, 10 face-to-face appointments, 4 closings. And and if you do this consistently, and we again teach this in Thrive Week, and people do it and they're like, oh my gosh, it works. You think it's a formula. Here's how it can work. This is one of my whiteboards. Let me see right here. It's a personal one. Now I have it written on because I write my things for today on it, but 25-10-4, you can take a whiteboard, you can take a piece of paper, you can take whatever you want. You're going to draw a line right across the middle right there. You're going to have 3 columns. Make sure you guys can see it. 3 columns. Your first column is going to be your 25. Your second column is going to be your 10. And your third column is going to be your 4. You're going to start. You'll have a bigger whiteboard or a bigger piece of paper. You're going to start in the lower part of your whiteboard. you're going to have 25 little sticky notes, those little skinny ones, blank. The second column, you're going to have 10 little sticky notes, blank. Your third column, you're going to have 4 little sticky notes, blank. Your goal every 30 days is to have 25 conversations about real estate, not about what you made for dinner last night, about real estate, like looking at houses. Hey, I saw you were looking at 123 Main Street. Would you like to go see that Saturday? Hey, I just got an inquiry about your home evaluation. Are you interested in knowing what your home would sell for in this market? Or are you just trying to protest your taxes? Which conversation is that, right? Those are conversations. You want to have 25 of those every single month. So your goal is to move all these 25 blank ones up here with a name on them. Someone you actually talk to about real estate. Your second column, this 10, these are face-to-face. These 10 blank stickies, you want 10 of them moved up every 30 days with a name on them. Listing appointment, buyer consult, who'd you talk to? How'd you get face-to-face with these people? And then your last column, your 4, those are closings. And you're going to have 4 stickies down here. Your goal is to move them up there with names on them. Your goal, done right, is to have 25 conversations every month. And when you do that, your 25 conversations will turn into 10 face-to-face appointments, and your 10 face-to-face appointments will turn into 4 closings. What if you want to close 8 deals a month? Then you just double it, right? Double it. It's just numbers. It's math. The problem is that people don't have enough conversations. A lot of metrics that a lot of teams measure are 20 conversations a day. Like, don't stop until you've had 20 conversations a day. Well, if you're looking at that in a 30-day cycle, how can you do that? Maybe you don't like being on the phone every day. Okay, great. Well, then get out there and door knock. Get out there and do an open house. I told one of our agents the other day, why on Saturdays or Sundays or any day is it that real estate agents only do an open house for 2 or 3 hours? Like, why? Who said you only should sit there in that house for 2 or 3 hours? Why don't you actually treat it like a job and go sit in that open house from 10 to 5? Why would you not? This is your job as a real estate agent. It's your job to go sell houses. That's what you do. So go sit in an open house for 10 to 5. I guarantee you somebody will wander in there, a buyer or a seller, and you'll acquire a client. But people don't want to commit. They don't want to do the work. So 25-10-4 is the formula to help you grow your business, whether you're in insurance, whether you're in real estate sales, whether you're in whatever, because it's 25 conversations. Those could be via text. Some, they can be on the phone, they can be instant messenger, they can be face-to-face, whatever. 25 conversations will get you 10 face-to-face appointments, will get you 4 closings per month. And then my final thing that I wanted to tell you guys about, I touched on Thrive Week. So if you're here in the Houston area, we do have another Thrive Week coming up on the calendar. It is basically a 1-week boot camp, and it's free, which is crazy that we do it for free. It's from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Paul and I teach it, and then Amy Lampman comes in and she teaches Buyer Day. And agents that come through it, we do, it's for new agents, brokers, seasoned agents. Everyone that goes through it, they're like, holy crap, I've never seen anyone teach the things that you do. Kind of like 25-10-4 that I just showed y'all. That's just a sample of what we do. It's a whole day on working with sellers. We do AI, we do goal setting, we do setting up your schedule for success, how to do open houses, how to work with buyers, how to find sellers, you name it, we do it. We cold call, we give leads out too. We have 95,000 leads in our database. So we actually cold call one afternoon and we give people leads, and we call right there live in person all together with me helping and Paul helping. So that's coming up April 21st through the 25th. It is a Monday through Friday. Do you have to stay all 5 days? No. Now, if you're coming to our team, yes. But if you're just a real estate agent, you want to come, say you want to come learn about AI, you want to come to Seller Day, whatever that is, you can come and go. We're going to do it at our own training center right here on our property, Hub 510. Go to hub510.com. That is the address to our training center. April 21st to the 25th. We were doing it only for Realty of America agents, but because the industry needs such drastic help, we're going to do this one for any real estate agent. And because we're doing it at our training center, we have a high capacity. We can get at least 50 people, if not 60, in our training room because it's big. And so come ready to learn, bring your laptop. You'll see it on Eventbrite. We're going to launch it maybe Friday. So when you see it, you do need to register because we give out books. We have manuals created. Sorry, I have a cold. Manuals created so that you actually leave with valuable pieces, like ways to help you grow your business. Because at the end of the day, that's what we want. You can be in any company out there. I feel sorry for the people that are in these other companies and paying these big splits and they don't get anything. So we're just out there trying to make a difference and change the world. Now, get out there, kick some butt, go sell a lot of houses, make conversations, talk to a lot of people. I got a sales meeting that starts today because we do sales meetings every week too. And then tune in next Tuesday to hear from Claudia and hear all about how they've grown this massive real estate empire in San Diego, California, and what their plans are for the future. You guys, I believe there are brighter days coming. I'm Tricia Turner. If you need help with anything, make sure you reach out to me, and I will see y'all later.